Squirrel Tribe, y'all. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. It's just after 12 o'clock today, December 4th, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know in the live chat if you can. We're just going to jump into everything that's going on. So the first thing we'll jump into is the fact that we're back to backwards live streams thanks to YouTube. Not quite sure why they've decided to flip everything around again. But the other thing that happened was the murder of the UnitedHealthcare CEO this morning outside of his hotel in New York City. One of the unsafest places in the United States lately, thanks to the illegal immigration. But this one, it seems, is not related to illegal immigration. It seems that this one, the murder of this man, is related to the fact that he was skeezy and bad things were happening behind the scenes at UnitedHealthcare. So let's jump into a little bit of everything. Number one, though, good morning, afternoon, whatever time it is where you guys are. Thanks for hanging out and being here. And again, nothing I can do about the backwards view. YouTube likes to screw us over every once in a while. When they don't think they're going to like the topics, they flip me backwards. It's very weird. That sounded weirdly sexual at the same time. It was not intended to sound that way. Let's jump into everything. So Brian Thompson, y'all, I'm sure you've seen this already. I will not be the first person or the last person to talk about it. But Brian Thompson was the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. You see, I'm already using past tense there. He was shot and killed outside of a Manhattan hotel in an apparent targeted attack. This is according to law enforcement officials. This came out 3 hours ago, all right? So then in the last couple hours, there's been a lot of information coming out. This is the video of the police milling about outside of I believe it was a Hilton hotel where he was murdered. Just police hanging out, trying to figure out what's going on. That looks like where the cups are, you would think would be a lot of shotgun or shells. And that's that. Okay, so we see that. Don't need anything else there. Let me get to the information that matters. New York Post said the CEO of UnitedHealthcare was fatally shot in the chest Wednesday morning outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown in what police say was a targeted attack. There has been a lot of information that has come out. This is the man that was killed, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, all right? One of the largest healthcare companies in the state, or in the country, not the state, in the country. So according to this, the gunman waited for Thompson in the lobby of the Hilton Midtown and shot him in the chest, then he fled. The shooter was described as a white male wearing a cream-colored jacket, black face mask, and black and white sneakers, and carrying a gray backpack. UnitedHealthcare, or United Health, is the largest health insurance company in the United States, generating over $189 billion in revenue in 2024 alone. And we're not even done yet. Let me just remind you, I am not, happy that this man has been murdered at all. I don't want this to come across the wrong way. But the healthcare industry has forever been a shady little mofo. And let me explain. The healthcare industry isn't about your health. It's about keeping you as sick as humanly possible so they can make as much money as humanly possible. When you go to the doctor, if you happen to be 100 pounds overweight and you go to the doctor and they go, hey, you know what, they'll fix that, Ozempic, or we'll staple your stomach, or we'll do this, this, and this, because they don't tell you, here's what you should do. We're going to cut out the sodas. We're going to cut out the refined carbs. We're going to cut out the sugar. You're going to start exercising. You're going to drink water, cut out the alcohol and everything else. They don't tell you that. Instead, they say, Ozempic, which Biden is now pushing as the end-all be-all for weight loss and healthcare, is Ozempic. They want the insurance companies to cover Ozempic for you. You have health care making billions of dollars, generating over $189 billion in revenue alone in 2024, because our food is designed to keep us sick. Our medicines are designed to keep us sick. Everything is designed to keep us sick instead of making us healthy. So of course they're going to be making a ton of money, right? Well, here's the problem. This guy, Thompson, there's so many problems here. The fact that he was murdered, obviously the big problem, but we're going to talk about what led up to it. So this guy, Brian Thompson, he implemented a controversial company-wide DEI policy in 2023, favoring minorities and women for management roles, pushing white male employees out of opportunities. This is what they're saying, right? And he was set to speak at an investor meeting later today in NYC. This is why this is a big deal. This investor meeting today was probably going to be a very difficult meeting for him due to the fact that there was a lot of, I don't want to use the word embezzlement, but a lot of issues money-wise. So let me get to this here. Also, on top of this, the wife of Brian Thompson, his wife said that he has been receiving some threats before the fatal shooting. Paulette Thompson, that's her name. She told NBC News there have been some threats. The NYPD released photos of the suspect. They're offering $10,000 reward. This came out from Colin Rugg. And I'm going to explain, again, we're going to get into why this man was murdered. So according to Colin Rugg, here is the picture. You guys can see the picture there. That's the person they're saying shot him. That is Brian Thompson on the ground there with paramedics trying to resuscitate him, do something, right? But that is the shooter. So according to this, the apparent assassin who murdered UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan used a silencer. This is according to CBS New York, which now, of course, they're going to go after your silencers. They already have, actually. NYPD has released photos of the suspect. They're offering a $10,000 reward. Police were seen performing CPR on Thompson after the suspect carried out the attack and fled through a nearby alley. It is believed the suspect waited hours for Thompson, with some reports claiming he waited overnight. This Brian Thompson person, because he was supposed to speak at an event today, his schedule was widely known, widely publicized. Sorry, I can feel this one random piece of hair and it's annoying the living bejesus out of me. Where is it? Whatever. His schedule was widely known. They knew where he was going to be speaking at. People knew where he was staying. So it wasn't like it was a secret or anything like that. So for this person to say they were waiting for hours overnight, that is feasible. This is going to... Y'all, I'm sorry. It's just very annoying. Ladies, if you know, you know, when makeup and hair stick to each other. There we go. Finally. Hey, Zeus almighty. Okay. At approximately 6:40 a.m. in front of the Hilton Hotel, the perpetrator discharged a firearm, striking the 50-year-old victim in the chest and causing his demise. This is what the police statement said. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said the attack appeared to be targeted. And he says, we want to be clear to New Yorkers that this does not appear to be a random act of violence. All the other violence there happens to be random acts of violence because it's happening all day long in New York City, on the subway, on the streets, in the hotels, in stores, all over the place. But this one was targeted. And let me explain why this was targeted. There is a page on X by the name of Shipwreck that posted this, and I'm pretty sure she did all this herself. Yes, so she did this work, and brilliant. Says here, Brian Thompson and UnitedHealthcare were being investigated by the DOJ for violating antitrust laws, y'all, and we're also being sued for not disclosing the investigation to investors before the media reported on it, causing investors to lose millions of dollars. Not only did they not disclose the investigation, but CEO Brian Thompson and others sold all their shares, making millions of dollars. So this is why this is very interesting. This is a 2-minute long listen, and hopefully Shipwreck does not mind that I am sharing this with you guys, but I want you to hear what this has to say, what she has to say. The words are going to be backwards. I apologize for that, but it is what it is. But take a listen to exactly what's going on. And I will tell you right now, I've been so focused on, you know, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and Donald Trump and JD Vance and Elon and all of them that I haven't been paying attention to everything else. And I have missed this. I missed this completely, which, you know, I'm like, what the crap, Michelle, because I pay attention to the healthcare stuff because I think it's a huge deal. What they're doing to our food, what they're doing to our people through the healthcare industry, through the food industry, I'm always paying attention to it. So to have missed this with UnitedHealthcare, which is who my husband and I had our health insurance through before we moved to Florida, we had UnitedHealthcare, but the places here don't really take it. So we have Florida Blue now, which also suck. They all suck, right? But the fact that I missed this, I'm smacking myself over, but thankfully this woman caught it. So I want you to hear what she has to say.
Now you've all heard that the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, was fatally shot in Manhattan. I believe that Brian Thompson was targeted. This was an assassination. But why? Well, I'm sure a lot of theories are going to come out over the next couple of days as what this guy was into. But one of the ones that's not really been talked about, and it's really hard to find out, obviously, because he was shot, was that UnitedHealthcare and Brian Thompson, the CEO, they were all under investigation from the DOJ. The DOJ is suing UnitedHealthcare because they are trying to buy Amnodize, which is the giant home health care company. That's not why investors and people of power would be upset. The reason that they are upset is because UnitedHealthcare knew that it was coming under investigation, and instead of calling its investors and the people that are invested in their company and letting them know, hey, this investigation is coming down the pipe, you probably should sell your stock, CEO Brian Thompson and Chief Accounting Officer Tom Ruse had sold all their stock off. Actually, a lawsuit from an unnamed defendant against Brian Thompson and UnitedHealthcare as a whole for doing this exact thing and causing the plaintiff, who again is unnamed, to lose millions and millions of dollars. Saying that UnitedHealthcare was aware of the DOJ investigation since at least October 2023, and instead of disclosing the material investigation to investors and the public, UnitedHealth sold more than $120 million of personally held UnitedHealthcare shares. 4 months between learning about the DOJ investigation and the investigation becoming public, UnitedHealth Chairman Stephen Hemsley sold over $102 million of his personally held UnitedHealthcare shares, and Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, sold over $15 million of his personal shares, stating that they had purchased UnitedHealth common stock at an artificially inflated price during the class period and suffered damages as the result of violations of the federal securities laws alleged here. All these stock sales and all of this investigation stuff actually happened in 2023, but the truth did not come out about it until February 27, 2024, when the Wall Street Journal reported that the DOJ had reopened its antitrust investigation into UnitedHealth. After the disclosure, the price of UnitedHealth stock declined by $27 per share, erasing nearly $25 billion in shareholder revenue. In the first part of December, and the CEO of UnitedHealth, who made a ton of money off this whole deal by basically inflating and then dumping the stocks, is now dead. I'd be pretty pissed off too. I don't know that I'd go murderous, but I'd be pretty mad.
So that, number one, y'all thought I talk fast? She must have been a squirrel in a past life, because motor mouth right there. I love it. I could keep up with it. Hopefully you guys could too. Everything that she was saying, shady stuff was going on with Brian Thompson and UnitedHealthcare. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that whoever had that trigger pulled is somebody that lost millions upon millions of dollars. Or you look at it the other way, somebody on his side had him taken out, because I'm pretty sure he probably had a hefty life insurance. I don't really know how that works though, with life insurance things. If you either unalive yourself or if you're unalived due to something like this, I don't know how the life insurance stuff works. Maybe the family's about to make extra money. Maybe wife and husband were on the rocks and they were going to get divorced, like Kamala Harris and Dougie Emhoff. We'll talk about that later. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of you guys are saying that you have UnitedHealthcare. Over the last year and a half, when they went all DEI with it and they started inflating their prices, did your cost go up anywhere? Like, I'm just curious, when you would go to the doctor's office, were your costs going up? Were you having harder times getting into the doctor? Were you being denied for certain things that you were going in for? Because you've got to think that there had to have been some sort of proof isn't the right word. Some sort of, nope, brain has gone on a hiatus for this one. Got nothing. Y'all, when I can't think of a single word, it literally feels like everything is left and it's just snowing in my brain. Not proof, but it's something had to have happened along the lines to have people going, this feels weird. My healthcare was much better last year. This doesn't seem right. This is taking longer. This is costing more. There had to have been signs or signals or suspicious moments, right, for people to notice, for the DOJ to step in and say, hey, wait a second. What's happening here? We're seeing things across the board that don't make sense. I know somebody just said their premium went up. And so I'm kind of curious if anybody was affected by this. Waiting to see what's going to happen here, because again, this just happened this morning. So there's going to be a lot of information that comes out, and it's going to be eye-opening, I think, if they really dig into UnitedHealthcare, itself and Brian Thompson. I feel like it will be very eye-opening on what actually goes on behind the scenes when it comes to our health system, our healthcare system, the ease of not money laundering, but the ease of money siphoning, because that's kind of what it comes down to. They found ways. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie. What was the name of it? It came out maybe like 6 months ago. Pete Davidson's in it for like half a second, and it had. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. It was the money one with the guy who did the stocks on game GameStop? Oh crap, what's the name of that movie? I'm going to think of it, or one of y'all is going to know it and put it in the comments, because you guys are, when my brain stops braining, y'all's kicks in, and I love you for it. So one of y'all is going to think of the name of the movie. And if you haven't seen it, go see it, because it kind of shows you how easy it is. Dumb Money. See, Sarah, that's why you're my girl. Dumb Money. That's the name of it. It kind of shows you how easy it is to trick the stock market and to trick the money into getting what you want out of it, right? So this Brian Thompson guy, the CEO, knew how to trick everything that was going on and was able to pad his pockets by falsifying what the company was worth and then dumping it so that he could make a ton of money off of it after everybody spent a ton of money to buy into it. It's a whole entire thing. But watch the movie Dumb Money. Like, it really will open your eyes to how all of this works. So we're going to keep an eye on everything that's going on with Brian Thompson and what happens there. But what's so incredibly interesting to me is that right as this information was coming out that this man was murdered, Elon Musk posted on X. Just the timing of it, a little bit ironic. Posted on X, massive waste in healthcare spending. And this was what he posted, okay? And it's just interesting. He posts about massive waste in healthcare spending, and then the CEO of the biggest healthcare blah, blah, blah in the United States is murdered. So this says here, wasteful healthcare spending can reach up to $935 billion a year. And then it shows you the types of wasteful healthcare spending. Now, keep in mind, because Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are now DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. I have to literally play it out in my brain, like look at it as word by word, which is why I look up into the ceiling. Department of Government Efficiency, they are going through, unpaid, side note, not making any money off of it, not getting a paycheck for it. They're going through and trying to figure out ways to eliminate all of this extra spending that is being done, because the money that goes into stuff like this is, again, it's not money laundering, but it's a way to siphon money from the government, which is, side note, your taxpayer money. It's your money that they are siphoning into their pockets, and we should all be super pissed on a daily basis about everything. So according to this, this is from the Journal of the American Medical Association, and it's showing here that administrative waste, administrative complexity is like $266 billion, and out of that, $84 billion is fraud and abuse. That's a lot of billions for fraud and abuse, right? You have inefficient spending, failures of care delivery, low value care, all these different things that they're saying are wasteful healthcare spending. And again, a lot of the times it comes down to they're doing things in order to find ways to pocket that money. We've talked about it numerous times when it comes to our the government and the military, how it is a cycle, and they give the military a award on a bid, and then they pay the military, but then the military is owned by the government, so the money goes back, and it's just this circle of money, right? That's what it comes down to. And the health industry is absolutely no different. The health industry is probably the worst out of every single one of them, because they know that they are overcharging you. Listen, my husband and I both have certain allergies that are food related, that if we happen to eat certain things, we will immediately die. Like, we have to be very, very careful. My husband has been into the emergency room 3 times in anaphylactic shock, through an ambulance ride and everything else. It is not cheap. I have not yet had to go, but we got like this close one day, and ambulance was right about to be called. It was absolutely horrific. But when we go afterwards, they say, hey, you need to get EpiPens. And then they're like, here's an EpiPen. It's $600. The fuck for? Like, are you kidding me? Is it made out of gold? Is it liquid gold I'm shooting into my body? No, it's not. Why is it $600? It's because they know that if you want to stay alive, you will find ways to pay it. Same thing with diabetes medicine, although they're saying that, Biden's taking credit for getting certain medicines down under $35, although Donald Trump did that in 2022, 2019, not Joe Biden in 2022, although he took the credit for it. It's ridiculous the amount that things cost. I'm going to the dentist. We're going to the dentist, the whole family, on Thursday. And when I called the dentist, we have health insurance for dentists, or dental insurance, right? I called and they said, we don't take your dental insurance up front. We bill you up front, then we send it to your insurance company, and then they cut you a check back. So you have to have, number one, enough money in your account to pay for you, your spouse, and your child. There's 3 of us going in there. You have to have enough money in your account to pay for it up front, or enough credit on a credit card available to pay for it up front. And you have to be able to give the insurance company however much time they want to take to send your money back. This is also hoping that the dentist or the doctor or whoever doesn't take their time to send everything out, like everything's done in a timely manner. So we have to go. We're going to get teeth cleaned and all that fun stuff, which I'm terrified. Out of everything, I'm more terrified of the dentist than I am of getting robbed and shot. Like, it makes absolutely no sense, but I hate the dentist. It's $351 a person because we have not been to this dentist. It's brand new here. We got to get the cleaning and the x-rays and all this other stuff. $351 a person times 3. So we're at $1,000 for the 3 of us to pay out and hope, number one, that the dentist company, they send it out in time to the insurance company. The insurance company gets it. They don't, stick their thumb on up their ass and rotate and take forever to get it back, or it's the end of the year, so they wait till next year. Who knows? In order for me to get my money back, like, it is absolutely crazy. Why should it cost so much? It's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, the everything that's going on right now with this Brian Thompson guy is going to have a lot of people looking really hard at the healthcare industry, which it's already getting scrutinized because RFK Jr. is coming in to make America healthy again, which is still Maha still sounds really stupid no matter how you try. MAGA sounds good. Maha just sounds really stupid. So we got to say it out. Make America healthy again. You have RFK Jr. coming in trying to get that all cleaned up, fixed up, which is going to affect the healthcare industry immensely. It is going to be the clash of the titans. That's all I can think of. You're going to have the healthcare industry fighting Donald Trump and RFK Jr. and everybody else so hard. And you're going to have RFK and Donald Trump and our government fighting back. It could get pretty gnarly in the healthcare industry over the next year. And I think I would say like the first 6 months to year that RFK Jr. is in whatever office it is he's going to be in, it is going to be I want to call it like the deciding factor of how our healthcare industry and our food industry are going to be structured from here on out. To me, RFK Jr. coming in is an even bigger deal than Donald Trump being put back in as the president. Like him being president-elect is a huge deal, but RFK Jr. coming in and there being a whole division to make America healthy again, it is the biggest thing out of this whole entire election, to me personally, because you can look back and see that it's because of our healthcare industry, it's because of our food industry, and it's because of the government basically being in their pockets that we are where we are as an obese nation. Our nation is majority obese. We all have something wrong with us, it seems, whether it's now that it's autism, whether it's ADD, ADHD, it's diabetes, you have heart conditions, you have cancers, you have obesity, you have all these different things that we did not have before the healthcare industry and the food industry decided to basically work together to F us all over so that we get sick and they get money and they get paid for it. And it's just, again, a circle jerk of money that's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I have lost all track of what we were doing here. So we've talked about Brian Thompson. Let's get to other stuff. Thank you for letting me have that long ass rant about everything. On top of that, guess what? Breaking news here. Speaker Johnson rejects Biden's request for more funding for Ukraine, stating that with a new commander-in-chief in place, he will wait for guidance from him on the matter. This is what somebody posted on X. Jack posted this over on X, and I'm hoping that this is correct. I've been trying to see who else is putting this up. I do believe that... Let's see who else has that. I saw it somewhere else and I did not put a bookmark on it, so that's on me. But if this is actually happening, because Biden has tried to get another $700 million for Ukraine. He just went to Africa, which, God, we're going to talk about that in a second. Went to Africa and said he's going to give them $1 billion in aid for disaster relief or whatever. And it's like, does Joe Biden not realize he's the president of the United States of America? Not to Ukraine, not to Africa or Angola or wherever he went. The United States of America. We still have horrific scenes in North Carolina from Hurricane Helene. People who are still homeless, living in tents, having their children taken away from them because they can't get into a home. Although, wait a second. When tiny homes are built, FEMA then comes through and kicks everybody out of the tiny homes because they say that they're not safe. But living in a tent in the mud, in the cold is safer than the house with, a roof and 4 walls and running water and everything else. Okay, cool. That's where we are right now. So if Mike Johnson really did say, Speaker Johnson said, listen, we are not approving anything because you're on the way out, broski, and we're tired of spending all of our country's money on these stupid ass things that you're trying to, fund. We're going to wait till the next commander in chief comes in. That would be absolutely huge, because even if Biden puts it out there, it still has to be voted upon. I believe it's the House of Representatives. It has to get through them first. So let's see how this goes. Let's see how this works. Let me get to this other stuff that I have for you today. So, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We did that already. Hold on. I'm trying to get in order here. And I've given myself hiccups. It happens because I talk too damn fast and then I forget to breathe. And when I do breathe, it's too much air, which I guess is a thing. And then where are we here? No. Oh, okay. So let's do this one real fast because this woman, she's in the thumbnail. What's her name? Ketanji Brown Jackson. Oh, bless it. She is the first Black female on the Supreme Court, right? She's the DEI placement by Biden. This woman is so incredibly dumb that she may make it almost impossible for any other Black female to make it onto the Supreme Court because she is so effing stupid. Women today, especially the ones on social media, are giving all of us such a bad name. It has got to be... It's mainly libtards, obviously. It's mainly the lefties. But then you have this woman come in, which technically she's a lefty, so it makes perfect sense. I need you to hear what she has to say here. Oh, bless it. Hold on. Let me get to the thing so you guys can listen to this. Just, you know what? Just listen. It's fine. Then we'll talk. Just listen.
By the statute. That was sort of like the starting point. The question was whether it was discriminatory because it applied to both races and it wasn't, necessarily invidious or whatever. But, as I read the statute here, the case here, the court starts off by saying that Virginia is now one of 16 states which prohibit and punish marriages on the basis of racial classifications. And when you look at the structure of that law, it looks in terms of you can't do something that is inconsistent with your own characteristics. It's sort of the same thing. So it's interesting to me that we now have this different argument, and I wonder whether Virginia could have gotten away with what they did here by just making a classification argument the way that Tennessee is in this case.
Yes, I think that's exactly right.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain what is happening here because I didn't listen to the very, very beginning. So Justice Ketanji Jackson says the laws that are banning sex changes for young children are the sort of the same thing as banning interracial marriage. She says you can't do something that is inconsistent with your own characteristic. It's sort of the same thing. So she thinks that saying... Basically what she is saying here, I'm trying to just paraphrase it and shoot it all into a smaller sentence here. She is saying if we are going to, as states or as a country or whatever, say that you can't have sex changes for young children, we should also say that there can't be interracial marriage, that it's the same thing. How is that even at all nearly the same thing? Two consenting adults of different skin tones deciding that they want to get married to each other versus, and hear me out here, an 8-year-old who has never even popped a boner or gotten a period talking about they want to change their sex because whatever reason, and then the court's allowing it, and then there's genital mutilation. Explain to me, y'all, how they are the same thing, because to me, they are just millions of worlds apart. That is not the same thing in the least, not even close at all. And this woman is sitting on the U.S. Supreme Court. This woman, this DEI dumbass, is sitting on the Supreme Court, and she has a say in things that affect you and I in this country. So that's that. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. You're going to hear, I'm sure we've heard plenty of stupid things come out of her mouth, but that was probably one of the dumber things, and I wanted you guys to be aware of that. Now let's move over to the fact that oh, that's so gross. So Joe Biden, he is at this summit with African leaders, right? And it's all about building railways in Africa. And they said building railways in Africa to get the minerals and get help and be able to move things back and forth across the continent and whatever else. But really it comes down to, and I'm sure you're aware, getting more of the, not minerals that Africa needs, but minerals that we want and need here in the U.S. to do the things that we do. This is not something that Joe Biden's doing out of the goodness of his heart, of course, because I don't even think he knows how to do anything out of the goodness of his own heart. But I'm trying to find the wording here so that you guys can, I want to read to you exactly what this says. First, I want to show you, though. I want to show you here that Joe Biden is dead ass asleep in the middle of what is going on. Look at him. Look at him. He is sitting here. That man is not paying attention. Everybody else is writing something down. They're doing something. They're listening. I don't know what's happening there. There's no way he's not asleep. He's not trying to hold in his knees. Oh, wait, he moved. Still out of it. Like, how is this man? He is dead ass asleep. Like, look at him. Oh, y'all. Oh, it is absolutely ridiculous. You have the Democratic Republic of the Congo. You have Tanzania. You have another person from the United States of America who is awake. And you have Joe Biden taking himself a nice little siesta over on the side. If that man starts snoring or if his head falls off his hand, because that's what happens, when you fall asleep in really weird places and you wake up, that's what's going to happen to him. President Biden joins leaders at the Lobito Corridor Trans-Africa Summit in Lobito, Angola, and takes a frickin' nap. That is so incredibly disrespectful, number one. Absolutely disrespectful. Just ridiculous how disrespectful that is. But you want to know what else? Look at this. Look at this. This is, Nick Sorter posted this. We don't need volume for it. But this is Joe Biden, okay, in Angola. And he's being basically maneuvered into place by I don't know if that guy's called a president or what he is, but he's like the leader of Angola. And then he like pushes him in where to go. And he like grabs his arm and stops him, I guess, so he wouldn't trip up a stair, because we know how Joe Biden is with stairs. And then he's like supposed to shake his. Look how out of it Joe Biden looks. Like, that is absolutely crazy to me. And this is the man who is trying to give $1 billion to Africa, 700 million more to Ukraine, no help to our people here in the United States, still wants to keep open borders. Don't forget the fact that he just pardoned his son Hunter for 11 years of any and all could be crimes, has been crimes, things that might possibly come up. And we're stuck with him for how many more days? Today is December 4th. We have until January 20th, and that's math in my head, so I'm not going to do it. It's a couple days. We have him for way too long, in my personal opinion. The fact that man, absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to find this part that was talking about, no, we don't care. We already talked about Brian Thompson, so we don't need that. That's important, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Okay, come on. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get there. I could have sworn I saved it, and this is what happens to me all the time, so maybe I did not. It had to do with the trains in Africa and the reason that Joe Biden is really there and wants to put money into this. And it's of course supposed to help him as opposed to actually help Africa. Dang it, where is it? I didn't keep it, y'all. I didn't keep it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. We all know exactly what happens. We want to trust our government, but we do not trust our current government because our current sitting government does everything for the benefit of themselves and the industries and not for you and I and the citizens of this country. Never have, never will. The Democrats could give two shits about the actual people. All they care about are themselves and the money and everything else. So let's get into some more stuff here. You guys having a good day? I hope so far. Thank you for being here with me while we go through all of this fun new stuff that's happening because there's just so much of it. Let's see. Nope, that's North Carolina related. We'll get to that a little bit later. Justice Ketanji Jackson, her dumbass. Oh, breaking news, Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff are reportedly separating amid allegations of infidelity involving a campaign staff member. What's your reaction? My reaction is, I told you this shit weeks ago. I said, now that she did not win, now that the campaigning is over, now that she no longer needs to have a man on her arm in order to look normal, right? They're going to split up. There was no way they're not going to split up. You had the news that came out during the campaign trail that Doug Emhoff likes to slap a hoe. He hit some ex-girlfriend or something. We already know that he diddled the nanny and knocked her up. And there's just not anything good about that man. He came across as more of a fan of Tim Walz than Kamala Harris, definitely a bigger fan of Joe Biden. That's who is making out with, basically kissing her on the lips, and not his wife. They always like kiss each other on the cheek. He feels very closeted. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Hang out in your closet. I don't really care. You do you, boo. I'm just saying. I never ever bought it. I didn't believe it. They've been married for a while, but I also think they got married so that she could start her campaign trail, not for this one, but ahead of time to go ahead and be married and have that settled. So that when she started putting her name out there in the 2020 race, that it was not frowned upon as a single whatever ethnicity she claims to be female, right? She had to get married and there has to be kids, obviously, because you can't just be married. You got to have some kids in there too. So now that she has lost, and not only has she lost, she just destroyed her chance of ever being the president of the United States. That she's just absolutely stupid. There's no reason for Doug Emhoff to hang around, but they are saying that there are allegations of infidelity involving a campaign staff member. Two questions. One, who and why, and is it male or female? So I guess that's technically two questions. Is it male or female? But the second question is, ew, why? Ugh. Like, ew. Like, I'm such an asshole and I'm fully aware of this, and let me explain why. I'm not the only person who does this, but I will see couples out and about and I'm always curious, like, why? This is so wrong. But I'll see couples and I'll think to myself, there's no way that your sex life has ever, on a scale of 1 to 10, has ever gone past like a 1.5. There's no way. Because you're like, when you see two people who just look so incredibly boring, you have to think to yourself, but how's that working out for you everywhere else? And I see Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff, and the very first time I saw them together, I was like, there's no way they've ever had normal vaginal intercourse. That was my very first thought. I was like, he's always looking at the back of her head or something, because I don't buy it. That's just me. That is not the point to any of this. I just wanted to share my personal thoughts and feelings of Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff with you. Speaking of vaginas, ew, I'm going to read this to you and then we're going to keep it moving. I read it and ew, so I have to read it to you. This person says, he said, y'all, this is hard to do with a straight face. Actually, I can feel myself turning red real quick. It's fine. It says, I don't know if I can do this. My new vaginal canal is going to be partly made of alloderm, which is made of sterilized tissue from human cadaver skin, which is so fucking cool and cyberpunk. So that's what trans people talk about on X, in case you were curious. Yeah, it is just, because here's the problem with me. I have a very overactive imagination and I picture everything I read or whatever. And I pictured that Have you ever done that where you vomit in your mouth a little bit and you're like, nope, that's not going to work out for me. And then I told my husband about this. I was like, babe, and I read it to him and I was like, guess what we're not doing today? You're not touching anything on me just because now my brain cannot stop picturing that. And I don't want to. So you stay over there. I'm gonna stay over here. No touchy, no touchy, nothing. Cause that is absolutely disgusting. But anyway, that's that. And then I started thinking of Caitlyn Jenner because, you know, they've done the whole thing, got rid of the hot dog and gave itself a taco. And I have to wonder how this works. I'm going to gross you out real fast if that didn't do it already. I read this one time where the person, this man that had his, you know, twig and berries taken away and made a insertion spot, posted about, is it always supposed to smell like this? Oh God. And I was like, no. And I don't even know how they have these conversations. Like, how do you go to a doctor and have these conversations? How do you have a significant other and have these it's just, I can't, that's it. I'm sorry. I can't with that. And I was disturbed by it. So I figured I'd share the love. You're welcome. Go ahead and think about that crap for the rest of the day. Ugh. Okay. That's that. Let's move on to something else. I'm sorry I did that to you. Now we're done. Oh, this is why I was thinking of Caitlyn Jenner too. Not just because of the vaginal meat suit. I don't even know what to call it. But Caitlyn Jenner posted this. It says, ladies and gentlemen, the future director of the FBI. And this is a post from Kash Patel. Again, some people are on board with Kash Patel. Some people are not at all. And it says here, this is from Kash Patel. I'm going to show you. It's backwards, obviously, because YouTube sucks. It says, when was the last time you snorted some crack, paid multiple women for sex, one of which was your dead brother's wife, then slept with her sister while having them on the payroll, capturing it all on camera, all the while snuffing through classified docs dad stole, which you used to get 7-figure contracts from America's enemies, oh yeah, and unlawfully obtaining a firearm, and got away with it all. Only if your name's Hunter, got a dad called Joe, and hashtag government gangsters, 2 tiers of justice lets you slide. Even if I knew absolutely nothing about Kash Patel, that right there, I would have been like, he's got my vote. I don't even know, but he's got my vote because that was gangster. Like, yes, all day long. The way he put that out there, I can't even. It was the one of which was your dead brother's wife, then slept with her sister. And I was like, is this The Young and the Restless? Are we watching The Days of Our Lives as the world turns? Like sands through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives, whatever. Like this feels like something that has to be in some sort of Quentin Tarantino movie. But wait, it's not. It's our government and their children. That's effed up. So there's that, y'all. Again, if you're not on X, I'm telling you, you have got to be X.com, not the drug, and just look at all this stuff because it is just amazeballs. Oh, speaking of everything under the sun, Riley Gaines posted this and it says, man steals a woman's award. Model of the Year award winner is a man pretending to be a woman. So this person won Model of the Year. What's crazy is a lot of people may think that this person is very attractive. If you saw that person on the street, you may not know that's a man because they've either tucked or snipped their twig and berries, and they're using the microphone to cover up their Adam's apple. But this person is considered the Model of the Year. I mean, great legs. Good for you, bro. But the fact of the matter is, all the women just got beat out by a man for Female Model of the Year. You can't even make this kind of crap up. Like, honestly, you can't. You can't. It's ridiculous where we are as a country, where the left swears up and down they're for women's rights, but in order to prove that they're for women's rights, they put men in places as women to take away everything that women have worked for. Okay, that's that. Tucker Carlson's in Russia, in case you guys didn't know that. So we'll just do that real quick. So Tucker Carlson is currently back in Russia to personally help prevent World War III, since Joe Biden's not good for shit and Kamala Harris is still in hiding. It says, we came back to Moscow yesterday to interview the foreign minister of Russia to ask, are we headed toward an unprecedented conflict between Russia and the United States? Is there any way to peel Russia back from the east, from the sphere of China, back to the west? It says here, Tucker is doing the Lord's work. God bless and strengthen him. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. So Tucker Carlson is over there trying to do what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris should be doing, yet they're not because they're too busy fucking off is honestly the correct way to phrase that. So you have Tucker Carlson out there trying to be a man of reason. And he went to Russia before. He went through their grocery stores and was showing us all the difference in the prices of groceries and the food additives that they don't have, number one, too. But then at the same time, you have to think, you've got Donald Trump coming back into office. Will that be enough to keep the United States out of whatever shit show is happening on the other side of the world? Or are we still going to be, knee deep in it because of the fact that Joe Biden is doing everything he can to ensure that when Donald Trump takes over on January 20th, that he is left with a big steaming pile of crap. Like, they're doing everything they can to give him the worst United States they possibly can. He's going to have to fix an economy. He's going to have to fix a border. He's going to have to keep us out of war. He's going to now have to remind men that they're men and not women. We're going to have to figure out the healthcare crisis because now we're figuring out the food crisis, all these different things. And it's absolutely crazy to me that the left is okay with where we are, where Joe Biden is trying to head us, like push us directly into a storm as a parting gift. How can you say that you are for the people of this country when you're trying to put them into harm's way on your way out because you're salty that your people decided to pull a coup and kick you off the ballot for president? Like, anyway, y'all. There's so much we could talk about. I can't play Tucker Carlson stuff. It will get copyrighted immediately, even though it is over on X. But I'm going to put a link to this Tucker Carlson video in the pinned comment once this is all said and done and uploaded correctly. I'll put that over there so you guys can go check it out because he has a lot of really good things to say. It's Tucker Carlson. You know what I mean? So there's that. We will do more conversations tomorrow. I'm trying to remember my thumbnails, make sure I got everything we talked about. Biden, I'm trying to picture how it looked. We talked about Biden. We talked about that dipshit on the Supreme Court. We talked about Kamala Harris. We talked about Brian Thompson and UnitedHealthcare. And I feel like I'm missing one, but at the same time, I think we covered everything for right now. So I will try to do more later today, whether it's an upload or a live, I'm not sure. Definitely back tomorrow after the dentist, as long as, my mouth isn't killing me because, I hate it. I hate it. It's going to be so bad. I hate the dentist. I'm terrified. Listen, let me explain. I'm terrified of sepsis. I don't want my tombstone to read, went to the dentist, got sepsis, died. Because I saw it happen one time, but it's been enough to terrorize me for years. So there's that. Okay, that's all, y'all. I love you immensely. Thank you for being here with me for, the cacophony of stuff that we do here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye. Love y'all.